We're all gonna get uncomfortable together for a minute. So I remember being 6 in the Toys R Us checkout line with my mom and asking this lady when her baby was due. Turns out she was just fat, and I did not make her day. It's my first conscious memory of gut-wrenching discomfort. Honestly, I can barely watch fictional characters in uncomfortable moments. This guy, I can't even look at him. I share so you can appreciate what a big deal it is when I say that I have also fallen in love with uncomfortable moments. Now, to be clear, the uncomfortable I am fascinated by comes fully loaded with discomfort and vulnerability, but it's also topped with opportunity. It's realizing those fears can also be your allies. But let me explain it another way. If you've ever done yoga, you've been in what I call the trough of discomfort. Boulder, you freaking love this shit, don't lie. All you want to do is move, but holding the pose, straining, staying is where you build strength and focus. Now, here's the thing. In life, love, and work, when we get into that same trough of discomfort, the vast majority of us will do everything we can to get out of it as fast as possible. And I'm here to say, don't do that. We have to get to the other side of uncomfortable. It's where the good stuff is, where we push our boundaries, cut through bullshit, and connect. Hell, if you're anything like me, it is the only place you've ever really grown. I am a better person because I took the jobs that scared me. I'm stronger because of the relationships that challenged me. I'm more capable because of my failures. And so are you. Yes, uncomfortable sucks, but it's also essential. Now, I want you all to take a moment and think about a conversation you dreaded with a loved one. Got it? Yes. Now, regardless of the outcome, how many wish you had said something sooner? Come on. Exactly, but we often don't, and it's way worse at work, where we avoid uncomfortable like the plague. People are more likely to choose silence than question the boss, or say they feel uncomfortable, or say they're going to miss a deadline. And that's kind of crazy. So how do we create an environment that supports constructive discomfort? And what does that even look like? So Pixar makes amazing stories, but what I think is even cooler is how they function as a company. First off, they've embraced kind candor and dropped the bullshit because they know that people and ideas are way more important than egos. And they do this in a lot of ways, but for example, all employees can submit notes for improvement after screenings of upcoming movies, even janitors. And they started a thing called Pixar University, where people from around the company sit side by side, learning and vulnerable together. And they know that feedback has to be given early and often, so the entire software group gets together every single week to review work in progress. And it's scary at first, but just like anything, with practice, uncomfortable gets easier. And those things create a culture where people know it's safe to push beyond their comfort zones, and that's critical. In fact, Google spent millions and years trying to figure out what makes amazing teams. It turns out the only thing that has a significant impact is psychological safety, where we feel safe being vulnerable and taking risks. It's beautiful if you think about it. Shared vulnerability creates empathy, and that makes it easier for us to connect in a deep way and dig into the hard stuff. But there's also a dark side to comfort. Comfort is sneaky. It makes it easy for us to take people and things for granted because we all crave it. Now, last week, a good friend of mine died, and I'm left with this space, not just the loss of him, but also all these conversations we could have had if I had just made the time. But I didn't, and that's a hard lesson. But what I want to focus on is how Joe lived. Because more than anyone I have ever known, Joe Ramos pushed the edges of comfort, vulnerability, and community. He was an amazing human being, and he could be infuriating, but he was amazing in so many ways. He lived deeply, and that's what I want to focus on. So the lesson I'd like for you to take away is we don't know how long we have, but every single day is a chance to choose how we live. So I encourage you to embrace discomfort. Make time for people and adventures, and make more time. Do things that challenge you. have the hard conversations, have them sooner and more often, and invite more people to the table, and then get a bigger table. Be vulnerable. Thank you.